I'm sorry, y'all. I had to hydrate because I have a lot to say. If you have been looking for the secrets to long, healthy, natural hair, you are finally in the right place. I know it hasn't been easy watching all these natural hair influencers with their long, thick, magnificent hair telling you that, oh, you just need to mix this water, rice water, clove water, rosemary water, all the waters. And you've been watering all the waters, but the waters are not working. And it just feels like everybody is lying to you. You can't trust what anybody is saying, or you have just chalked it up to genetics. Oh, they just have good hair in their family, I'm sure. But the truth is that there are actual practical steps that you can take to start seeing a positive difference in your hair length. A lot of people don't just like to talk about it, and honestly, I wonder why. So in this video, I'm going to highlight all the things that you need to know if you truly want to grow long and healthy hair. I'm going to separate the lies from the real tea. So if you are interested in growing long natural hair, I suggest that you watch this video to the very end. So first off, when we are talking about hair growth, these things I'm about to tell you are not like things that you will do and then something will just reach into your scalp and start pulling hair out like tiger generator. That's not what I am talking about here. One thing that you need to keep in mind when it comes to hair care and hair growth and seeing long hair and healthy hair, blah blah blah, is that first of all, you need to know that your hair is always growing. It's just like, you know, how they say your nose is always growing and your ears are always growing. Well, your hair is always growing too. It's like a metabolic process of the body. Like, you don't have to tell your heart to beat. You don't need to tell your heart to pump blood. You don't need to tell your lungs to take air in. They already know what they are doing. And it's the same thing for your scalp, for your hair follicles. They already know what they are doing. Your hair is always growing, and there is nothing that you can actually rub. Despite all the studies and things, they will tell you rub minoxidil, hair will just appear out of nowhere. It doesn't work that way. The truth is, your hair is always growing unless you are very seriously sick. Your body has a way of prioritizing tasks, yeah? So if you are really, really sick, then your body will be so busy trying to keep itself alive that things like growing hair and keeping hair on your head becomes secondary. That's why a lot of people who are, let's say, suffering from cancer, their body is just so busy trying to keep them alive that their hair starts falling out. It's the same thing for postpartum hair loss. Your body, your hormones, everything has changed to accommodate this baby, this life that you are growing inside you. That growing hair is like, what do you care about more, your hair or your baby? You know? So unless you are in those special situations or you're not feeling well, then honestly, trust me, your hair is gonna grow. It is growing. It's not a matter of we have hair in our family or we don't have hair in our family. Your hair is always growing. Now, where a lot of people get it wrong and they start seeing that their hair is the same length for a year or 2 years or 5 years is length retention. Length retention is something that a lot of natural hair, like influencers and content creators, I don't know why, but it needs to be more mainstream than all of these clove water and herbal tea rinse and all those kind of things. Like, length retention is the key. Like, it is the real deal when it comes to growing long hair. If you are not retaining length, I promise you, even if you are growing 2 inches of hair per week, you will not see a difference in your hair length. You will just be there. Your hair will be growing, but it will be breaking off. And that leads me to another thing that a lot of people miss. You know, when somebody is thinking of hair growth, you'll be thinking, okay, I need to get a good hair oil. Everybody is so focused on oil. Okay, I need to be rubbing oil on my scalp every day, as if the oil is going to reach into your follicle and be dragging out the hair. That is not how it works. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't put oil on your scalp. Of course, put oil on your scalp so that it's not dry, or so that it's, so that it's nourished, because there are actually some, herbs and all those kind of things in oils, not necessarily to grow your hair, but just to make sure that your scalp is fine. Like, there's just an optimal environment, for hair growth. Hair oil is basically for maintenance. It's just for scalp maintenance, making sure that, everything is fine, everything is okay, your scalp pH is fine, nothing that will hinder hair growth, but nothing that will really double or triple or multiply your hair growth. No. it is entirely for maintenance. Okay, so a lot of people tend to focus on oils and focus on their scalp, and then they end up forgetting about the hair strands themselves. Like, you are trying to grow your hair, but you don't apply any product to your hair. That's why one of the first things that I ask people when they come to me for hair growth advice is, what products do you currently use? A lot of them will say, they have Dudu Osun that they use as shampoo, and they have Moringa oil. They don't know why their hair is not growing. Not a deep conditioner or a leave-in conditioner in sight. How does your hair want to grow when it is always dry? Now, let me tell you something about, hair length, like how hair length actually works and how length retention works. Your hair is always growing. We've established that, right? Now, as your hair is growing, there is this thing, this enemy of progress called breakage. And breakage is at its height when your hair is dry. Are you following? So when your hair is dry, it will break. When you over manipulate your hair, it will break. If you comb your hair anyhow, you are combing your hair shaka shaka with tiny comb, it will break. But with length retention techniques, you make sure that your hair stays moisturized, you make sure that your hair is protected, you make sure that you're gentle with your hair, and you will start to see that your hair is not all over the floor as it used to be. When that happens, all that hair that you're growing stays on your head, and as it's staying on your head, is getting longer. Now think about it like this. So this, my finger, is your hair, right? This part that you can see down here, right here, is your hair. Now your hair grows, but then it breaks. Then it grows, and then it breaks. Then it grows, but then it breaks. But with length retention, it will grow, no breakage. It grows some more, no breakage. It grows some more, no breakage. Do you see how your hair? Are you understanding? Oh my god! It's just like I've been saying this so much, but not a lot of people are getting it. And I understand my SEO is whack, so my videos don't really go that far. But I just really hope that someone somewhere, I hope that you that are watching this video, you're understanding this, that hair growth is not magic. It's not entirely genetics. It's not some mythical thing that is so hard to achieve and only a select few can achieve it. No, you can achieve it too, but you need to stop focusing on all these things that they've been telling you to focus on for the past how many years now. Stop focusing on just oiling your scalp. Stop focusing on mixing rice water with moringa powder and clove water to make some herbal boost mixture. Now let me tell you something. A lot of these content creators will tell you, or these influencers, they will tell you that okay, they mix this and this and their hair grew 2 inches overnight. Now let me tell you something. If your hair is growing 2 inches overnight, which means it's growing 2 inches every day, that means in 7 days, your hair is supposed to have grown 14 inches. That means that in 4 weeks, which is 1 month, your hair is supposed to have grown 52 inches, which means in a year, 52 times 12, that influencer's hair is supposed to be dragging on the floor, even if it is natural hair, for 52 inches per month. At the end of the 3 years they've had their hair is supposed to be all over the floor. It's supposed to be dragging. It's supposed to be that long. But is it? No. That's because there is no such thing as overnight hair growth. There's no such thing as growing your hair 2 inches overnight, growing your hair 5 inches overnight. It doesn't work that way. Your hair is constantly growing at a constant pace, but your ability to retain that length that your hair is growing is now where, is where the dynamics shift. So don't let anybody come and be deceiving you, come and be pouring you cold zobo and you two will be drinking. Okay. Honestly, length retention is very simple. At least for me. What I understand length retention to be is just threefold. First off, you need to keep your hair moisturized. Like I said before, if your hair is dry, it will break. But if you manage to moisturize your hair in a way that your hair is always soft, so when you are running your hands through it, your hair is elastic. When your hair absorbs moisture, it becomes elastic. That is why your hair shrinks when moisture is applied to it, because once it absorbs moisture, it starts to get springy, right? That's where shrinkage manifests. So it starts to get elastic, so that normally when you would comb your hair and it would just break, this time when it's moisturized and you comb your hair, it bounces back. It's elastic, right? So that is what moisture does when it comes to length retention. It helps your hair become elastic, more flexible. You can comb your hair with less breakage versus when your hair is dry, it's like a twig just ready to snap. Like, I don't know if you've ever snapped a twig before, it's pretty easy. Okay, so if your hair is dry, it's just going to be breaking off like twigs, right? But if your hair is moisturized, then it gets that elasticity, that plumpness, that, bounce back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make sure you keep your hair moisturized. And the next thing is you have to embrace protective styling. A lot of people like to think of protective styles like a prison for their hair. Like, why are you growing long hair if you cannot show it off, if you cannot wear your afro? But the thing is, when you put your hair in a protective style, you are basically styling your afro. Like, it makes your hair even more like beautiful. It makes your hair more artistic. This hairstyle is entirely my natural hair. Not many people can do this. A lot of the tutorials that I saw, a lot of people were adding kinky, they were adding kinky extensions, but this is all my hair. I'm able to do this because I have grown my hair to that point where I can do this. And that's the beauty of these things. I will go out with this hairstyle now. People will be asking me, oh, this extension that you used to do your hair is so realistic. Where did you get it? What's the name? And I'll be like, it's actually my real hair. By the way, if you want a tutorial for this hairstyle, it's linked in the description. It's a flex to be able to style your hair and confuse people outside. Like, is this her hair? Is it not her hair? Like, so many times I would style my hair and I would go out and I'll hear people literally arguing with themselves behind me. Like, is that her hair? Is that not her hair? Like, should we ask her? Should we ask her? So if you can find a way, to embrace protective styling, I promise you, oh my god, you are going to see so much length. Like, your hair will just start, it will just start feeling like as if it's growing faster. And I think that is where people make the mistake, thinking that, oh, your hair is growing faster. No, it's just that you weren't retaining length before and now you are, and you are seeing all the positive changes now, and you think your hair is growing faster. No, your hair has always been growing at this rate. It's you that was not taking care of it. But now that you are seeing the results. So yeah, embrace protective styling. And I promise you, oh my gosh, I promise you, you are going to love the results. Finally, it's important to protect your hair always. A lot of the time when we think about protecting our hair, we think wearing satin bonnet to sleep. But it can actually be more than that, especially if you are someone who works from home. When you work from home, sometimes you sit at your desk and you are workity, workity, worky. And then at one point, you just realize, oh, this part of my work I can do on my phone. And then what do? You take your phone, you lie down on your bed or on your couch, and what's going on? Your couch is sucking out the moisture from your hair. But you don't realize because you've entirely attached wearing a bonnet to going to bed. I work from home and I barely go anywhere unless it's church. Okay. So my hair is almost always in a bonnet. Where's the moisture gonna go? My hair is gonna stay soft and moisturized for longer. And that whole protecting your hair anytime you're indoors versus protecting your hair only when you go to bed, another advantage is that your moisture retention will be high, meaning that you won't have to moisturize your hair again so often. You know how you moisturize your hair on Monday and by Wednesday it's already feeling kind of dry. You need to top up a little bit. But with this, I get away with not moisturizing my hair for like a whole entire 7 days, sometimes even more. I've gone like 10 days without moisturizing my hair. And then when I was not like, okay, you know what, it's about time, and I wanted to, take down my hair and moisturize it, I felt it that this hair is not dry. Oh, after 10 days. Make sure you protect your hair when you are indoors, not just when you are going to bed. Like, what harm is it going to even do anyway? You are at home. Nobody is looking at you at home. You can wear your bonnet and look raggedy at home. Okay? And where this ties into protective styling is if your hair is in a protective style and then you're wearing a bonnet, if you do need to go outside, all you need to do is come out your bonnet and you're out the door. Okay, unlike when you don't have a protective style. So every single time you want to go outside, every single time you want to go down to the market or the supermarket, or you just want to go see your friend, guess what? You're going to have to detangle your hair, style your hair, comb your hair. And that is just over manipulation. Doing protective styles completely eradicates all of that. So if you join these three elements together, you keep your hair moisturized, you embrace protective styles, and then you protect your hair every time, like every time you can. I'm not saying you should be walking up and down with a bonnet, no. I promise you, my God, you will see such positive results. Like this hair that you're thinking that is genetics, you don't have it in your family. You will start to realize that it's like we are there, oh, we're just the ones that are not taking care of it. Oh, and another aspect, before I forget, another aspect of protecting your hair is using heat protectant too. If you want to be blow drying your hair, like I'm not saying you cannot use heat. Me, I rarely use heat in my hair, and that's just me. But if you feel like you prefer blow drying to air drying, or you want to do things like roller sets, anything that's going to involve heat, make sure you use a heat protectant, because when your hair is heat damaged, it is terribly weak, and sometimes even just moisturizing your hair and doing protective styles may not be enough to save it. So make sure you prevent and avoid heat damage as much as possible. Make sure you are using heat protectant. You can even get like a sprayable heat protectant. Sometimes sometimes the sun outside it be threatening. Okay, so I would take my heat protectant spray and just like spray it over my head before I step out into the sun, because I don't know, I've worked under some kind of sun where when I reach home it's like I should just go and stand under the shower and sing let it go. No, the sun here on this side of life is crazy. Anyway, yeah, make sure you protect your hair as often as you can, as well as you can, okay? And keep it moisturized and do protective styles. Honestly, it is just that simple. If you can just master those three things, whew, in no time you will be doing hairstyles like this and you'll be saying, yeah, it's all my hair. Extensions wear. So yeah, that's the real tea about hair growth. Yeah, if you want to have longer, healthier hair, just adhere those three things. Okay, make sure that your hair is always moisturized. Embrace protective styling, and protect your hair as much as possible. If you want more detailed tips about how to go about protective styling and how to grow your hair with protective styles, I would advise you very, very dearly to watch this video. This video has everything that you need to know to grow your hair with protective styles. So make sure you watch this video next. I'll see you here.